You open ChatGPT on a Tuesday morning. The model you've been talking to for 2 years is just gone. No warning in the app, no goodbye. The drop-down is shorter. A voice you trusted is missing. And the company that promised you the future just deleted the present. So what happened? Did OpenAI lose control of its own product? The obvious answer is yes. It's also wrong, because what's really going on is stranger. Stay with me, because by the end of this, I'm going to show you the exact structural trick OpenAI pulled with GPT-5. How they split ChatGPT, the API, and a hidden legacy models menu into 3 separate products that just share a name. And once you see that split, you'll understand why every few months the same backlash detonates, in the same shape over and over again. Let's rewind to the day the dropdown got shorter, February 13th, 2026. According to OpenAI's own retirement notice, 5 models were pulled from ChatGPT at once. GPT-4o, GPT 4.1, GPT 4.1 Mini, OpenAI O4 Mini, and GPT-5 itself, both instant and thinking. Read that last one again. GPT-5, the flagship, the one they spent a year hyping, retired from ChatGPT on the same day as the model it was supposed to replace. Enterprise customers got a short extension. OpenAI said GPT-5 and enterprise workspaces would stay reachable through February 19th. GPT-5 Pro for paid users, also February 19th. After that, gone from ChatGPT. So in 1 week, OpenAI retired 5 major models from its consumer product, including the one its entire marketing campaign was named after. Why? To answer that, you have to back up 6 months, to August 2025, to the GPT-5 launch. And the launch didn't work the way you think. In OpenAI's own words, ChatGPT's GPT-5 isn't one model. It's a system, a reasoning model, a non-reasoning model, and a router quietly deciding which one answers you. In the API, GPT-5 is something else. OpenAI describes it as the reasoning model that powers maximum performance. Same name, different product. OpenAI's launch materials say nearly 700 million people were using ChatGPT weekly when this happened. 700 million users, all meeting this new GPT-5. Not all talking to the same thing. That is the split. Hold on to it, because every piece of chaos that follows grows out of it. Now back to February 13th, the day GPT-4o disappeared from the app. TechCrunch reported it the same day, and TechCrunch reported something else too. There was Backlash, and OpenAI walked it back, keeping GPT-4o available for paid subscribers, but only if they manually selected it. From a hidden menu, inside the world's most famous AI product, labeled, officially, Legacy Models. Think about what that label admits. A Legacy Models section only exists if the default lineup isn't what users actually want. The menu itself is a confession. But it gets stranger, because barely a month later, OpenAI did it again. Their Help Center says GPT 5.1 Instant, GPT 5.1 Thinking, and GPT 5.1 Pro were retired from ChatGPT on March 11th, 2026. 3 more models, gone, less than 30 days after the last funeral. Then GPT 5.2 Thinking showed up, and according to OpenAI's GPT 5.4 announcement, 5.2 Thinking would hang around in the legacy section for 3 months, then retire on June 5th, 2026. Then GPT 5.4, then GPT 5.5, and GPT 5.5 is where the split gets impossible to ignore. OpenAI's Help Center says GPT 5.5 rolled out to Plus, Pro, Business, and Enterprise users in ChatGPT and Codex, but not to the API on launch day. OpenAI's stated reason? API deployments require different safeguards. They're working with partners and customers on safety and security requirements for serving it at scale. Read that carefully. The same model, available in the chat app, not available to developers, because the developer version, the company says, needs more protection before it ships. So what is GPT 5.5 really? It depends which door you walk through. This is the deep weirdness of post-GPT-5 OpenAI. There is no longer one model. There is a moving constellation of models with different availability and different products on different days for different tiers of customers. GPT-4o, for example, didn't fully die in February. OpenAI's Help Center says business, enterprise, and EDU customers kept access to GPT-4o inside custom GPTs, but only until April 3rd, 2026. After that, even that ghost gets exercised. ChatGPT voice, meanwhile, wasn't changing. The retirement notice made a point of saying so. which tells you indirectly what users were already afraid of next. And here's the thing. None of this is new behavior for OpenAI. The pattern goes back years. OpenAI keeps a public deprecations page, and the page tells its own story. In December 2024, they retired the Assistant's V1 and V2 beta endpoints. In November 2025, developers using the ChatGPT 4.0 latest snapshot got an email. That endpoint would be removed from the API on February 17, 2026. The official policy is clean. Notify impacted customers by email. Notify in documentation. Give every deprecated model a shutdown date. Tidy, professional. The developer side reads release notes. The developer side expects deprecation. But consumers, the other hundreds of millions of you, you just open the app one morning and a piece of your workflow has vanished. And the gap between those two experiences is the engine of every backlash. Because OpenAI has been signaling this style for years. Back in 2023, when GPT-4 went generally available, the company said future model and product improvements would happen around the Chat Completions API rather than the older Completions API. Translation: older products get left behind. They told developers this in 2023. They just never told you. So why does the same drama keep blowing up? One reasonable read: the product has gotten too big to deprecate quietly. When the launch materials themselves cite nearly 700 million weekly users, there is no quiet anymore. And here's the thesis. Here's the line that reframes everything. OpenAI didn't just launch GPT-5. It launched a new product architecture, one where the model and the experience are deliberately separated. Look at the launch materials again. ChatGPT's GPT-5 is a system of models behind a router. The API's GPT-5 is presented separately, as the reasoning model. They share a name, they are not the same product. OpenAI's GPT-5 and Work post framed the shift in plain language. Enterprise use, direct employee access, not just consumer chat, a broader product shift. So you're no longer looking at one product for everyone. You're looking at many products that share a marketing label. And when you do that, deprecations stop being events. They become weather, constant, rolling, felt by the consumer surface long after the developer surface has been warned. OpenAI's developer post on GPT-5 bragged about a 70% win rate over O3 in internal testing for front-end web development. A real benchmark, a real number. But for the user who lost GPT-4's voice on a Tuesday, that number doesn't land. Their tool changed without their permission. Now, what about the rumors, the staff exits, the internal chaos stories? Here's the honest answer. OpenAI's public statements and help pages don't confirm any of that. Anything claiming to know who left and why would need sourcing that doesn't exist in the official record. So I'm not going to invent it. But you don't need leaked emails to see what the documents already show. 5 models retired from ChatGPT in one day. 3 more retired a month later. 1 scheduled for June. A flagship name that splits into a ChatGPT version, an API version, and an enterprise version that aren't really the same thing. A legacy models section that exists at all. What the documents describe is not a company shipping a clean roadmap. It reads more like a company shipping a moving target to hundreds of millions of people and managing the fallout retirement by retirement. And the fallout, every cycle, follows the same arc. Announcement, backlash, quiet reversal, hidden menu, new model, repeat. So the next time you open ChatGPT and your favorite model has slipped out of the dropdown, you'll know what you're looking at. Not a bug, not an accident. The shape of the company now. You open the app, the thing you trusted yesterday has the same name, and quietly, a different soul. You scroll the dropdown, you find the legacy section, you select the ghost, and somewhere, on a deprecations page nobody reads, there's already a date when that ghost dies too.